My name is Dervis Avdic, and I work as engineering manager at Ikea. And I'm here today to talk about creating a developer-first experience. So, a little bit about me. I work in the southern part of Sweden. I run the API management platform team back home. And recently, since 5 months, I'm also doing parenting, which is very, very nice. All right, so a quick slide about Ikea. Hopefully you all heard about Ikea, but I wanted to take the opportunity to show the magnitude of it, and also since HR actually forced me to, show this kind of slide. So 389 stores in 32 countries, a little bit over 170,000 coworkers, globally distributed worldwide, doing good at sales, and getting quite visitors to the different channels we have in the app and in the store in Ikea.com. So you would understand the severity that is put on our systems to meet the demand, actually. So Ikea, right? It's a furniture company. How do we make sense of the digital experience? So we in Group Digital deliver digital solutions and technology to entire Ikea, to meet our different customers everywhere, right? And we have offices in Sweden, in Madrid, Amsterdam, Philadelphia, Shanghai, and now in Bangalore. And we are over a little bit 4,000 coworkers worldwide. So where do we start? Well, we start here. This is Ikea.com. And I took the French site for your convenience as well. Me and my fiance were looking for a Christmas star for our Christmas tree when we now wanted to do the decoration, right? So when we went into Ikea.com, because I want to have everything with Ikea at home, so we went into products. Check out keywords such as decoration, Christmas, God knows what, for us to find our Christmas star. We didn't find what we were looking for. So we used the search instead. Typed in a couple of keywords, decoration, star, Christmas, anything, right? And we actually ended up finding Stråle here for 10 euros. Really nice. Next up, we logged in. We wanted to check our discount, our member points, a couple of different things. Once we're done with that, we want to check the inventory, because we find Stråle. And now we want to check the inventory at the nearest store we have, or should we order it to at home, or what we should do, right? So we confirm that it's in the nearest store at where we live, so all good. So we do a checkout, payment, and then collect the Stråle at the nearest store. All good. This is a typical experience that every customer would see going to Ikea.com. But what is actually happening under the hood? So every one of these numbers that I've pictured for you here is actually products shipping data with each other all the time. So in APIs and events, right? Some of them are request response, some of them are streams. It all depends on the use case, right? And not just on the web. I want to go to the app, I want to go to the store, and I want to call the customer support center and get the same experience through the different channels, which puts on a challenge on these products to not just be for one channel, but to be reusable for all of them, right? So you want reusable APIs to have the same experience in your different channels. Exactly as we're doing with our flat pack concept in Ikea, that has been powering our business ever since. We can build thousands and thousands of products using the same screw and hinge everywhere, right? That's fantastic. We want to do the same thing with APIs. So, where do we start? We start by implementing SAFe in the company. No, just kidding. Highly opinionated by me and not by Ikea, if there's anything going around with that. But what SAFe in this picture is failing to do is highlighting this fella here. And for those of you who don't see it, it's the customer. So what do you think I mean, right? Of course we're highlighting the customer. Well, let's go through some basic terminology of what I'm trying to achieve here. So we have platform teams in the company, and for larger enterprises you have multiple platform teams. I run the API management platform team, as we can see here. You would have another team running the event platform for like event mesh or streaming, like Kafka and stuff. You would have a team for observability, taking care of meeting metrics and logs and all of those things. You could have a cloud hosting team for like on-premise and so on. So those platform teams have a customer, which is the digital products I've just shown you in the slide before, right? So like find, search, checkout, inventory, and all of those things, which is working towards our different channels, right? And of course, they have a customer, which is the one purchasing, in this case, Billy Bookshelf, right? We're gonna focus on the customer for the platform teams, since we already know that we're doing good in sales, right? When the customer purchases the Billy Bookshelf. So before I answer that question on my own, I've read an article in Humanitech talking about platform teams and developer experience and why that is so important. Jason here working at GitHub. So he's saying that platform teams is a vital move that allowed GitHub as a company to scale. Jan, working at Zalando, one of Europe's largest online retailers, he's saying that platform teams and an internal developer platform was an essential move that helped their engineers ship software faster, right? So on the other hand, we're talking about scale, and the other one is talking about shipping software faster. Two pretty vital moves, I would say, for your business. So, where do we start? For the convenience of us talking about Ikea, I've actually made up assembly instructions for all of you, so you can easily follow how we should build this platform team to achieve the things that we just took a part of, right? Scaling, ship software faster. So, if you ever build an Ikea furniture, you would know that in the top, you would find the equipments that you need to assemble your furniture, right? So in this slide, we're talking about an internal developer portal, number one. So why I say that is because I want you to use a common developer platform, and I don't want your platform teams to build one of their own, so you would end up having 15 developer portals for your developers, right? I also want us to have a team of focused engineers. Why I say focused is because being a platform team, you can easily take requirements from management and architecture, but if you would have a team understanding the customer and understanding that you need to treat the platform as a product, you would need a team of focused engineers in this case. So two things, right? Let's go through the process of how you would actually build this platform team. Number one, let go of anything that you're doing and listen to your users. Why this is so important is because you need to pay attention to what the most mature and advanced teams in your company are doing. Why I say this is because if you can copy-paste what your best teams are doing and then starting to scale that in your organization, you would have the highest influence within all the teams. If you're focusing on the lowest performing teams, you would end up with the same result, right? So I'm not saying that like top management or architecture or anything should decide on which platform anything you should buy. So going through the different booths here and see what the best tooling is, and then you start to think that you can guess like, I think my engineers would really like this tool, it sounds very nice, and the salespersons are actually convincing me. No, that's not how this instruction is telling you to do. So I'm telling you to listen to them, to your users first, which is in this case, the engineers building the products. Next up, always build MVPs and prototypes and test it out. You would actually be surprised by thinking that, okay, isn't that something we always do? No, not really when it comes to platform teams. Third one, self-serve with APIs and CLIs. Everything that you offer in your platform should be through machine to machine. Nothing should be through like collaboration or filling out some form, or definitely not like calling or talking about, hey, can you fix this or something like that. The fourth thing, use a common developer portal. So together with other platform teams, make sure that you have one developer experience. Fifth one then, observability and status pages. So think of it as like, if you use any cloud service provider, you deploy a VM or Kubernetes or anything like that, you'll get complete insight in observability. Everything from logs, metrics, traces, right? You should do the exact same thing if you're running as a platform team. Say you're running an API gateway, service mesh, or event mesh. You need to give them full, complete insight in anything that is happening with their service. Similar to status pages. Every company now has a status page presenting the health of your application. They should be applied in the same way. And sixth, but not the absolute not thing that we should forget about, and that is to provide release notes. Anything from LCM, updates, changes, breaking changes, anything should be put into release notes and shipped to the user. All right, so enough talking. How can we use these assembly instructions in some way? And I'll actually show how we used it in the platform that I have been running within Ikea. So between 2016 and 2019, this was our current setup. And I won't go through too much in deep technical things here. So as you can see, we're running on a hybrid multi-cloud solution to address the global demand that we have, right? At this time, we were very heavy on-prem. We didn't listen to our customers, which is the engineers in this case, as much. And as you can see, we had a big, angry monolith, as you can see. We managed to do okay. The thing I want you to focus on here is that we had a 5.1 customer satisfaction score, even though we had APIs and teams onboarded and all of those things. And at this time, cloud wasn't as popular as it is now. So teams, they were actually somewhat forced to use the platforms that was offered to them, right? And with that said, having that customer satisfaction score is not very good. So what happened? Well, if I follow my own manual, we started to listen to our customers and started deviating from listening to anybody else, telling us what to do and what the organization needs. Reduced on-prem footprint, split the monolith in microservices, and created offers that was for the users in this case. So still having the managed API gateway set up to meet the global demand, but we created a whole lot of self-serve APIs on top of the platform, so like infrastructure APIs. Anything that you can use in our platform is through APIs and CLIs. Gave full insight with observability to all the engineering teams we have. And today we have like 300 engineering teams in Ikea. So it's a huge demand meeting all of these teams. We created a self-hosted API gateway, so teams can actually host our managed API gateway wherever they want. And if they don't want to use the managed one or the self-hosted one, they can actually use any gateway they want. Say, Google API Gateway or AWS API Gateway or some maybe open source API Gateway, or no gateway at all, for that matter, if they don't need one. Because we created an API catalog built on Backstage, which is Spotify's open source portal. And this allowed us to have the catalog filled with APIs, open APIs, async APIs, and then you can choose the runtime you need, be it the gateway, service mesh, event mesh, anything that you want. So how did it go? Well, it went pretty good, I would say. Again, the thing I'm most proud of here is that we increased the customer satisfaction score to 8.5. With this said, there is a lot of native cloud functionality in, for example, GCP. So having to increase our customer satisfaction score really tells me that we went good. We did really good here. So, I took the liberty of becoming as Jason and Jan with their famous quotes in this case, and I put myself up there as well. I'll say, as a recap, I agree with them, and I think that if you want to reduce your cognitive load on your engineering teams building products, you need to invest in platform teams and your developer experience, right? And that will, in the end, help your organization to scale in a whole lot faster move than it did before. So next time you're thinking of Ikea and Flatpak, you can actually think of APIs, and then you can think of me as well if you want. And that's it for me. Thank you.